What up, everybody? It's BeatMaking.com here today with a very nice, tiny but mighty update to Audio Evolution Mobile. This update may not look like much from the release notes, but it really enhances some key points with the workflow that were sort of pain points for me and other individuals in terms of using a specific workflow where you copy and paste or drag and drop your MIDI in from another application on your iOS device. So this has now solved those issues, and in a moment I'll show you what's in the update exactly and how it applies to this workflow. But if you haven't, be sure to check out the Audio Evolution Mobile beatmaking workflow guide that we did. It's really going to help you get a super nice workflow for Audio Evolution Mobile on iPad or iPhone. It's definitely a winning workflow. We use AEM 2, we use Koala, just a really nice workflow overall. But with all that said, let's talk about the update. They added a MIDI parameter control, CC and channel pressure for internal and AEV3 effects and AEV3 instruments. The new MIDI button opens the MIDI parameter control dialog where you can assign MIDI controls to effect instrument parameters, and MIDI mappings are per instance and saved with the project, and presets can be loaded and saved. Pressing the input button on a track could cause a crash where there are more buses than tracks. That's now been solved. Importing or dragging and dropping a MIDI file onto an instrument track will not change the instrument to a sound font anymore, and this is huge. Dragging and dropping a MIDI file to the very beginning created a new track. That's now been solved, and dragging and dropping a MIDI file onto an existing track asked unnecessarily to choose between creating a virtual instrument or a MIDI track. That's also been solved. This was kind of an annoyance with the workflow, if I'm gonna be honest. It led to me having these MIDI runways, which if you go back and see that other video on the beatmaking workflow guide, I had to build in MIDI runways into the template in order to kind of have a neater way of facilitating MIDI dragging and dropping, but that is no longer the case. And in a moment, I'm going to show you the drag and drop workflow and how I like to use it, as well as the copy paste workflow. But first, I'm going to show you this new little button that's been added here. When you use a AEV3 instrument or effect, you can now hit this MIDI button, and all the parameters that are within the AEV3, you can go ahead and assign them via MIDI learn, or you could do it manually, and you can change all kinds of parameters. So for you people with MIDI controllers who like to have all your stuff assigned with knobs and all that, this is going to be a huge win for you. It actually kind of reminds me of AEM and how it exposes all the parameters when you are doing MIDI remote control and stuff like that. So definitely a big win here for people who like to use MIDI controllers with AEV3 instruments. And I think their save per session is what the update note said. Now let's get to trying out the drag and drop and copy paste workflow. Check it out. We've got Suggesture here. I'm gonna build this out a little bit. That way it's just easier overall. Grab this chord here. And just like that, and it also retains what our instrument is here, so it doesn't ask for anything. And then from here, what I would usually do is we can select them, move it to the very beginning, and while AEM is not bad at all for its MIDI piano roll, what I would do is go to AEM here and just record into it. And from here, I'm free to go ahead and edit it however I see fit. So for instance, I could bring this back here, start this right there, and then that there, and go ahead and stretch these chords out here. And there we are. We've got something, and I think we were in, let's see, yeah, E flat natural minor. So there we go. And let me turn off the metronome. I know it's a little loud here. And let's see how we sound. And then what I would do is I'll move these out the way and then just create a loop section starting at 1 and ending at 5, which would be the completion of 4 bars. So got the start of something there, and I could say, you know what, let me go ahead and bring these top chords up an octave, spread it out a little bit. And then I could go, you know what, let me create a little bit of move these up an octave. From there, what I would do is I would just go export MIDI and then copy it. And then from there, I just select the track, hit paste from iOS clipboard, allow paste, and bam, we've got our chord data right there. Then we can disable Atom. So it's a really good workflow for just building out an Atom starting from Suggesture. So what I could do is select my layers here and then just draw in, following the bass notes of the piano, just draw in, and let's see how it sounds. And again, something real simple there, but we could just go, we could go export MIDI immediately. But let's say we wanted to go ahead and say, you know what, that's for one part of it, but we wanted to go ahead and add a more complicated part. So let's go ahead and add a duplicate here, and we'll go ahead and work on this a little bit. Let's say we wanted to have a part that kind of makes it a little bit more bouncier of a bass line, kind of like an 808 in a way. All right, so we've got another bassline variation there. Now go to export MIDI, copy, and we can go paste right here, paste from iOS clipboard, allow paste, and it'll bring both versions of that MIDI to the timeline. And then we could take it and go ahead and move it up here. And so now we'll go ahead and remove our original chords that we started with from Suggesture, turn the loop off for a moment, bring this back, go ahead and paste that in, and stretch this out to complete the measure. Add loop here and bring the loop out to a full 8 bars. Make sure you turn off your Atom instance. Just that simple. We already got something going, which is pretty cool. And then let's say we wanted to put some drums in there. So I'm going to just do those really quick here. Nothing too crazy on the drums. I just want to show y'all the workflow, which is so incredible with Audio Evolution Mobile. All right, and what I would do from here is just go export the current sequence. And I've got this really cool shortcut to work with the stems. Still working on it. Trying to get some of the kinks ironed out, but just check out how smooth it works. I think y'all will like it. And now I've got this shortcut here where I can just go copy zip to Audio Evolution Mobile. And it's automatically copying it and unzipping everything. And now I'm going to add an audio track, just one. And then when I hit paste from iOS clipboard, allow paste, it gets all of my elements for me automatically, which is so nice. And it also generates the tracks. So I'm good to go. Now, what I like to do after that is put the Koala sequence on a blank sequence as well as mute it. And just for the start of everything, I usually like to turn the drums down a little bit because they come in pretty hot. So go ahead and turn those down. And these are just a couple of the ways that I like to work with AEM. You see me bring things in from Gesture, then work with it in Atom 2, and then build with Koala and easily export it with a shortcut that I created. So many things that you can do with AEM in terms of workflow. Very adaptable, traditional type of DAW. So yeah, be sure to grab it. It's a great deal. You can't beat the price of the app, and the dev is highly motivated and keeps coming with great updates. And another cool thing too is it's available on Android, iPad, iPhone, and if you got like an M1 Mac or a Silicon Apple Mac, you can go ahead and run it on there also. So yeah, AEM for the win. Be sure to check it out. It's got Vocal Tune Pro also, which I feel is the best auto-tune, real-time auto-tune type of app, like auto-tune EFX 2, 3, all that on iOS. Yeah, but with all that said, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy the AEM update. And if you have not checked it out, be sure to check it out. And be sure to check out the video walkthrough that we did for making beats in AEM. If you want more of this type of workflow that you just saw, more information about it, check out that video. With all that said, it's iPadBeatMaking.com. Peace.